Tonight's presentation will be on the Watergate Scandal. We seem to have some excellent footage of the break-ins. Have a peek.
In June of 1972, a group of men were caught breaking into the Democratic National Headquarters at the Watergate Hotel in D.C. The group, also known as the Plumbers, was said to be hired by President Nixon.
Apparently among those guilty. I immediately ordered an investigation by appropriate government authorities. On September 15, as you will recall, indictments were brought against 7 defendants in the case. As the investigations went forward, I repeatedly asked those conducting the investigation whether there was any reason to believe that members of my administration were in any way involved. I received repeated assurances that there were not. Because of these continuing reassurances, because I believed the reports I was getting, because I had faith in the persons from whom I was getting them, I discounted the stories in the press that appeared to implicate members of my administration or other officials of the campaign committee. Until March of this year, I remain convinced that the denials were true.
Freeze! Freeze! What are you doing in here? Hands up! Turn towards me. I don't want to look at you. Pig!
This, however, wasn't the only scandal Nixon was accused of. Earlier, Nixon had ordered the Plumbers to break into the office of psychiatrist of Daniel Ellsberg in order to discredit him. Ellsberg leaked the Pentagon Papers, a full account of the war in Vietnam and its mistakes, to the New York Times. It was later discovered that Nixon had bribed the Plumbers with money and pardons to remain quiet.
Now you two over here. I'm not paying you to keep quiet. I just like you so much, I'm gonna give you some money.
It goes on your grandpa, right? It's to your mother's father. Your mother's father.
Nixon was also a fan of wiretapping on government officials and employees to stop leaks. Nixon's reputation was further tainted by the discovery of a taping system in the Oval Office. Many believed that the tapes would link Nixon to the Watergate scandal. Nixon refused to turn over the tapes in order to cover up his charges. After being released, the tapes shocked the country as it included several of Nixon's conversations that referred to the Watergate scandal. Nixon was forced to turn over the tapes to the courts and Congress by April 1974. After many talks about illegal activities done by the Nixon administration, the House began the process of impeachment. However, Nixon decided to resign on August 9, 1974.
From the discussions I have had with congressional and other leaders, I have concluded that because of the Watergate matter, I might not have the support of the Congress that I would consider necessary to back the very difficult decisions and carry out the duties of this office in the way the interests of the nation will require. I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first.
Breaking news. Nixon addresses the country about the Watergate scandal. Here is some live footage of the speech.
My fellow Americans, I am not a crook. In all my years of public life, I have never once obstructed justice. I've earned every cent I've got. All of it. I am not a crook. I'm not a crook.
Some say that the Watergate scandal proved that the process of checks and balances had worked. Others worried about the shift of power to the presidency. Nevertheless, all agreed that the Watergate scandal left the country doubtful of the U.S. government.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
I would like to know your reaction on the Watergate scandal.
Well, truthfully, I just can't trust the government anymore. I mean, our president, he lied to all of us. Like, how do you trust him? Can you trust him? Can you trust him?
No.
Good, because you shouldn't. He should be removed from office. Impeachment, I tell you, impeachment! I don't want to cry anymore, I'm going.
On August 9, 1974, Gerald Ford became the next president. There, he granted Nixon a full pardon of all his charges.
Paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They took all the trees, put them in a tree museum, and they charged the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.